Alright, if you have watched my previous videos, you might have noticed that I have been recommending this retro gaming device. This specifically is the Anbernic RG35XX Plus that I personally utilize to do maintenance for my mind, my mindset, my mental health by playing a game for 10 to 20 minutes to dive into a story like Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI at the moment, to reset my brain so that I can get refreshed back to work, to any of my issues, my to-dos, or whatever I need to do in that specific time. And with a refreshed brain, I also have a new perspective on that. So I have been utilizing this device that has a very long and complicated name. Again, Anbernic is the brand, but the gaming device's name is RG35XX Plus. So a mouthful. And I have been utilizing this for over a year, have been testing a couple of different devices. So I think it is time that I do a long-term review about this device. Alright, before we start, let me just give you a picture or tell you how I utilize these devices. I think that is very important to get where I'm coming from as a gamer and how I utilize this in terms of also carrying it with me in my everyday carry. For me, these devices, like a retro gaming device, but also a small little digital camera, like the Canon G9 stills camera, point and shoot stills camera, or my DJI Pocket 3 vlogging camera, I want them to be as not only practical but small as possible so that I can carry them around on a daily basis, so that they have the purpose of me using them and distracting me or getting me away from my phone, which is the Samsung Fold 5. And while I love this phone, I did notice that whenever I game on this or whenever I do photography with this, I do get distracted either by notifications or by social media. This obviously is much more capable than this. There is a Chrono Trigger Android version. I could play this on a bigger screen on my Samsung Fold 5, but I choose to utilize this gaming device and play the SNES version. Now, this is due to the reason that I want a dedicated device so that I can completely concentrate on the activity itself without getting distracted, without thinking, oh, let's look at Instagram real quick. I am a freelancer, so I'm basically always in work mode. Teams is always activated, WhatsApp, emails and stuff like that. So I get a lot of notifications on my phone. So having a device that has no distractions, and I really want to emphasize that I like this one especially because this is not an Android version. There are gaming devices with Android, but I feel like as soon as I have Android on them, the temptation of either installing a couple of apps that have notifications, or I don't know, in general, I mean, you probably have to log in with your Google account and then you get Google notifications. So I rather have this kind of device with a Linux system, to which I will get in a second, that don't tempt me in having notifications or social media. So for that, this device has been amazing as a tool to keep my mind free and have my mental health a little bit more in check, because let's face it, the world that we're living in at the moment isn't great. We have so many responsibilities, economy isn't great. So it is really important not to ignore your problems, but rather to reset your brains. And whenever I have those 10 minutes of a break to play Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI, because this is small enough, as you can see here in terms of size comparison, and also thickness. I can always keep this in my pocket. And if I have those 10 minutes, I can just switch it on, play for 10 minutes. And if you have a really good story like Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI, you dive into the story of the game and then you basically only think about that game, therefore reset your mindset. And whenever you stop doing your 10 minutes breaks, which is basically like a smoking break. I'm a non-smoker, but I kind of imagine this being my smoking break in air quotes, a healthier smoking break, let's say it that way. Those 10 minutes help me to reset my brain and then go with a totally fresh perspective into whatever I have to do. And for that, this device is amazing. It has the perfect size. So now going into the review, long-term review of this device. This has the perfect size. Let me give you another size comparison. This is the Logitech MX Master 3 mouse. So you can see this is a very small device. Yet, since this is the Plus device, it has a screen that is still big enough for me to enjoy the game. There is the regular RG35XX version. I don't know what size that one has, but I feel like this is the perfect balance of big enough screen, but small enough to keep in my pocket. So I can carry this with me all of the time. I have, for example, also the RG405V, RG40XX V. So as you can see here, this is much bigger and ergonomically much more friendlier in my hands. And as you can see, the screen is also amazing. This is an amazing device. Subscribe to this channel and let me know in the comment section below if you want to see a long-term review about this device as well. But this is not as pocketable as this one. So I cannot really carry this with me on a daily basis. And again, this is where the RG35XX Plus shines and is my absolute favorite to carry around. Before this version, I actually had the RG35XX H, the horizontal version. But due to the horizontal form factor, there was a ribbon cable here at the bottom. So you need to kind of imagine that it was kind of like the D-pad was on this side and the buttons were here. And basically the screen was really close, like on the top one, like here at the bottom. And there was a ribbon cable. And I actually dropped this from about, I would say 1.5 foot, so 45 centimeters of height from my couch to a carpeted floor. And I don't know what exactly happened, but I guess the ribbon cable, it did not detach because I checked that. I kind of broke that ribbon cable and therefore the screen didn't show whatever I was playing. There was some lines in there. So I bought this one and I have to say this is much more durable than the horizontal version. I dropped this from my couch as well, from the same height, and nothing happened to this. This little thing in the screen protector that actually comes inside the box when you buy this, it already was a little bit chipped. So this didn't happen from me dropping this. Actually, overall, this device is holding up really well after, I would say, at least a year carrying around in my pocket, in my sling bag, and it holds up perfectly. Construction wise, obviously this is plastic, but again, this kind of holds up in durability, but more importantly, because this is plastic, this is also very lightweight. And again, keep in mind, I want this to be as less getting in my way as possible. So it is lightweight, so I don't feel it in my sling bag, but also it is small enough to keep in my pants pocket, yet has a really good screen for me to play all of the time and enjoy the games. The buttons feel extremely well made. Obviously, I only have Anbernic devices as comparison, but from what I can remember with my old Game Boy and Nintendo DS, this feels similar, but this is only from memory, so don't quote me on this. I don't know how other gaming devices are, but I do feel that, for example, with Final Fantasy VI, I have this one character with Blitz where you have to do these button combinations to kind of do his attacks. These attacks where you kind of have to go from here and then go down here, so kind of this Street Fighter move, they don't work that well. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. But overall with playing, I'm not a Street Fighter kind of player, so I don't know how well this works with Street Fighter, but with all of the other games that I play, like JRPGs, Super Mario, Tetris and stuff like that, Contra, it works perfectly well. I installed on this muOS. As far as I know, this is an abbreviation for Mustard OS. With that, it works really well. This actually is an old version of Mustard OS where I set it to either, you can set it to disable or to kind of shut off after 10 minutes. So whenever this is switched off or the display is off, it will completely shut down after 10 minutes. So with that in mind, the battery life of this holds up really well. I actually only charge it every, I would say 4 days with playing every day and having this shut off after 10 minutes. So the battery life that is in here is really good. I know that there are some other OSs that have a better suspended or sleep mode. I cannot tell you a lot about that. On this device, I actually installed the newest version of Mustard OS, which is called Golden Goose. But I noticed that the startup time is a little bit slower on this with this new Golden Goose of muOS. So I did not install the newest version of this. This is Pixie, I believe. I have Pixie of the Mustard OS. And for me, it works really well in terms of battery life, in terms of performance. What I do like about this is, opposed to an original Game Boy or PSP or other handheld device, with these kind of emulating devices, you have save states, which makes gaming as a casual gamer so enjoyable. As I said, I utilize these only for 10 to 20 minutes and then I go back to work. So you can basically hold menu and then push one of these shoulder buttons. Saving is R2, loading is L2, and you can basically save wherever you are, and when you start it up, go back to that specific moment, exact moment, and then continue playing. So having a proper operating system, I mean the original operating system, which is called RetroArch, works really well. I just wanted something a little bit different, and that's why I installed Mustard OS, and it works really well. Oops. And you obviously can stick with the older version. What I also wanted is to kind of limit myself in a couple of games, not having too many on these, so I don't get kind of overwhelmed with decision fatigue. So as I said, right now I have Final Fantasy VI, I also have Tetris, Dr. Mario, Chrono Trigger because I just finished it, and those are basically the games that I currently play the most. And yeah, and again, in terms of what this device needs to do, so giving me those 10 minutes breaks while helping me to carry this with me all of the time, because the size is perfect for me again in comparison to my phone. It is very small, fits in my pants pockets, but most of the time is in my sling bag, works really well. I can highly recommend this device, especially if you consider the purpose that I mentioned, but also have this nostalgia factor, because this is basically the same size as the old school Game Boy. Yes, you can get the bigger one, but this is not as pocketable. So for me, the RG35XX Plus, perfect. I will link this device in the description below. Those are affiliate links. With those you won't pay more, but you will support this channel with a small kickback of that sale. And if you do so, thank you very much. So what are your thoughts about these kind of retro gaming devices? Do you utilize one and which one are you using? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to see my Chrono Trigger review, watch the video up here. YouTube thinks that you like the video down here. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button up here. I see you then in the next video. Thank you very much.